So I had a pretty fun weekend with ball, coaching my daughter. It was like kind of our home tournament, so they did pretty good. Lost in the semifinals, but still pretty happy with it. But yeah, so the girls they kind of laugh when I tell them my dad jokes, but I come up with one this weekend. So I was just wondering, did you hear about the T-Rex that got arrested in Vegas for working at the blackjack tables? Yeah, he was accused of being a small arms dealer. So I'm out doing some rounds this morning to check some crops to see where we're at. Just looking for disease and just make sure there's nothing going on with any of the emergence and stuff like that. A little windy this morning, but not too bad. To the west, it looks kind of dark, like it might rain, but it doesn't look like much around here. It's almost clear out, but just kind of windy. But yeah, so I'm gonna make the loop around and check all the crops. I kind of do it like probably every 3 or 4 days during the summer, and just to check to make sure everything's going good. There's no bug pressure or any disease coming on any of the leaves. Right now the flag leaf is pretty important, so you got to double check it in the cereals for sure. But this is barley here, some synergy barley. It's starting to head out in some of the spots that emerged earlier, and then the other stuff is kind of just in the boot right now, just kind of coming up the plant. So you can kind of see on some of these guys, so the head's right in here, it's in the boot, hasn't come out yet. And then you can see the odd one where the beards are popping out through, so it's just kind of an early heading, kind of a mix in the field. Of course, this will kind of give a guy an idea kind of how the harvest is going to go as far as different staging in the crop. So it's good to see when stuff heads out and kind of what parts of the fields and different things where stuff's heading out, so you kind of know in the fall where you need to do samples and stuff. I find it helps out, so you kind of have an idea kind of the variances in the field. So, but this barley is looking pretty good. It's just, like I say, pretty stagey, but for the most part it's not bad. The field beside is also barley, so there's 3/4 here kind of across the road from my main yard that are barley. If you can see in that field, I had one strip left to seed when it got rainy, and I came in later and seeded in. It was a little muddy. You can kind of see that strip there where it's just starting to come out. That actually baked over because it's a little heavier soil here, and it's just finally starting to kind of come through and kind of fill in a little bit better, but it's going to be way later. So just thankful I didn't have to do the whole field like that. It would have been a wreck for sure, but just the difference of a day in the crop. But overall, this is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not going to be a huge crop, but hopefully close to average. So the next field is canola, and this is Joe's. This is the field I rent, kind of just over the hill from my farm. It's looking pretty good, this canola. It's the second field that I planted, and you can see they're starting to bolt. So they're pushing up their main stem of the plant after making some pretty nice leaves to store some energy to push. Anyways, this guy's, you can see, kind of budding at the top. But the staging of this field's pretty good. The canola was seeded into some moisture here kind of shortly after a rain, kind of the middle of May. So it was about the 14th or 15th or so. We got a shot of rain, which gave some moisture to the top of the soil, so that when I put the canola in at about 3/4 of an inch or so into the ground, there was moisture there. So most of it came pretty early. So this field is pretty good. There's not a lot of little ones coming underneath. Most of them are pretty good size. So this one's going to be not too bad for staging. So it shouldn't be too bad of a field. It's got this last rain here about a week and a half ago, which is helping it stay green. There's not a lot of insects or anything eating on it. The leaves look really good. There's nice sized cabbage leaves on the bottom there to help push that plant up. So no, they're looking pretty healthy. Some cereals coming through just late with the dry, and then that moisture here a week and a half ago, now they're starting to come through. So we're seeing there's going to be some second flushes of wild oats and cereals in some of these fields, but it's too late to spray with the fact that they're starting to bolt right now and push. You spray that, you could lose some of those guys, so it's not worth it to get those a little bit on the outside where there was kind of some cereal regrowth. But yeah, this guy's looking pretty good. It's a pretty nice day out. Sun's shining here, but like I say, to the west it was kind of looking kind of stormy this morning, but it wouldn't hurt to get a rain. So I've already checked in on the canola and the barley, and now I'm just checking out some wheat. It's heading out. As you can see, the stand's pretty thin. We had quite a bit of heat right at emergence, and then or shortly after emergence it was a pretty hot, dry spell. It really affected how much the plants stooled out and that, and how much it sent up. So but right now the roots are in pretty good moisture, so that helps. Not going to be super tall plants this year. Probably about waist high, I would guess. Right now they're about knee high and headed, so they usually double in height. But lots of thin patches, so the yield's not going to be as good on the wheat for sure. It was the one that we were kind of worried about because of the fact it doesn't send up any more plants after a rain like a barley or whatever does, and canola seems to hang on through some of that early heat, and it will come back and kind of fill in. But this stuff is definitely pretty thin and a little disappointing, but it is what it is. It's thankfully we got some rain on it to kind of keep it going, and definitely not going to be a monster crop for sure. Got a bird up there bugging me. Must have a nest around here. But it's headed out, and it's growing at least. It's definitely could be worse. But yeah, normally we head out kind of that stampede week, so the Calgary stampede kind of, so usually that first week of July is when you start to see the crops really heading out. So the fact that we're heading out like a week and a half early, wheat might be a little bit earlier than normal, barley is going to be close, canola might be a little late, so we're going to have an interesting harvest. Definitely it's going to be spread out.